Tom Bower has just cracked the juiciest royal secret most people didn't even realize existed. A quiet enigma lurking in the shadows of Meghan Markle's life. Concealed behind fancy titles, polished interviews, and meticulously curated public images. For years, the world bought one version of Meghan, the Hollywood actress turned duchess with a tidy, supposedly flawless timeline. But Bower claims that timeline doesn't just wobble slightly, it shatters completely. According to him, once you start tugging at the loose threads in Meghan's story, you uncover the unexpected, mismatched moments, dates that refuse to align, and a trail of evidence whispering a radically different tale about who Meghan really is and possibly how old she truly is. This isn't gossip. It isn't fan speculation. This is the kind of truth embedded in printed documents, faded memories, and the quiet confessions of those who were there from the start. And once you hear it, there's no unhearing. Because the real question isn't just how old Meghan Markle is. The bigger mystery, why was her life rewritten at all? It all begins with a father who noticed something awry. Before royal gowns, palace gates, and shouting photographers, Meghan Markle was just a daughter. And Thomas Markle, her father, recalls those early days with a clarity most parents possess. He remembers her school plays, childhood dreams, and the timeline of her life long before anyone cared about her age. But when Meghan rose to fame, Thomas spotted inconsistencies. Her story didn't match the one he carried in memory. Dates felt off, ages seemed tweaked, events placed in years he knew were wrong. Thomas didn't storm talk shows. He didn't wave documents around. Instead, he spoke deliberately, almost like delivering a sworn statement. He described the Meghan he raised, a girl whose childhood milestones fell at precise times, in ways that contradicted the official narrative later disseminated in palace press releases. He never accused. He never exaggerated. He merely hinted that Meghan's stated birth year might not be accurate. Coming from a father, those words carry unique weight. This wasn't guessing. This wasn't internet digging. This was someone who had held her baby photos. Someone who knew the truth because he witnessed it firsthand. And Thomas Markle's subtle concerns were the first crack. A tiny yet potent fissure in the otherwise seamless royal story. A crack large enough for a curious, forgotten clue to slip through. March 1997, teen girls across America leafed through 17 magazine, a glossy filled with fashion, college aspirations, and hopeful young faces seeking a breakthrough. Deep in that issue on page 90 was a small list of names. Nothing remarkable at first glance, just aspiring youths recognized for school programs and competitions. Then one entry jumped out. Meghan Markle, age 21, not 15, not a typo, not rounding, 21, printed in ink, distributed nationwide, archived long before she met Prince Harry, long before any PR machinery could craft her public identity. If accurate, this magazine suggests Meghan was not born in 1981. Her true birth year could be closer to 1975 or 1976, making her roughly 6 years older than the public believes. 6 years may seem minor, but in a public persona, it rewrites everything. Graduation age, acting debut, entry into Hollywood, meeting Prince Harry, marriage into royalty, all suddenly misaligned with the rising 36-year-old actress the world was introduced to in a royal fairy tale. This magazine didn't whisper. It screamed contradiction. A contradiction that turned Meghan's age from a fixed point into the first chapter of a deeper, more tangled mystery. Just as the age puzzle seemed complicated enough, another twist appeared. Meghan's first pregnancy and the birth of Archie. Tom Bower claims Meghan's story about Archie's arrival wasn't merely confusing, it was crafted. His statement wasn't loud, accusatory, or headline-hungry. It was calm, clinical, rooted in conversations with those who had first-hand knowledge. He suggested the polished public account of Archie's birth, shared by Meghan and Prince Harry, didn't align with reality behind closed doors. And this wasn't a casual slip-up. It was the kind of story that sounded almost impossibly perfect. A serene labor, 2 epidurals, rapid recovery, A glowing duchess whisked home with her newborn in just 2 hours. It read like a movie ending, not an actual hospital experience. That's why it gave pause. Real births are rarely tidy fairy tales. Messy, slow, unpredictable, always bound by strict medical rules. So, when Bauer highlighted these inconsistencies, he unlocked a second mystery. If the age timeline had gaps, the birth story contained entire chapters of omission. That's when an unexpected source emerged. Someone from inside Portland Hospital. Word came from the very hospital where Meghan supposedly delivered. Not gossip, not online rumor. This was someone who knew the hospital's operations, its protocols, and how deliveries actually occur in those private, tightly monitored spaces. According to this insider, the story Prince Harry recounted in Spare didn't match reality. First, 2 epidurals. Medically, epidurals aren't administered like double painkillers. You don't get 2 doses hours apart. 1 epidural runs continuously. Suggesting Meghan received 2 is medically unusual, nearly impossible. Then the timeline. Harry claimed Meghan delivered, recovered, and left the hospital within 2 hours. Anyone familiar with childbirth knows this isn't how it works. Post-epidural, you can't simply walk, gather belongings, and leave. Vital signs must be monitored, blood pressure checked, mobility assessed, and the body observed. Even under ideal conditions, this takes time. And the drive from Portland Hospital to Frogmore Cottage? Almost an hour. That compresses everything, the delivery, medical checks, discharge, into an impossible single hour. To hospital staff, this wasn't merely unlikely, it was logistically impossible. Yet, the public was fed a story drenched in calm tones, candles, and wellness ball imagery. The insider who spoke up didn't spin chaos or whisper conspiracy. They simply said, "That's not how it works here." And just like that, the mystery deepened. The more you dig into Archie's birth narrative, the more contradictions pile up. This isn't only about epidurals or timing. It's about medical rules. Rules that exist for very good reasons. According to multiple medical professionals familiar with high-risk pregnancies, Meghan Markle would have been classified as geriatric, fancy medical speak for being over 35. Mothers in this category receive extra monitoring, heightened caution, and longer observation periods to keep both mom and baby safe. But the public story didn't reflect any of that care. Prince Harry described a serene, dimly lit room, scented candles, birthing balls, and a peaceful ambience. Sounds dreamy, yes, but utterly unrealistic for someone officially labeled high risk. Hospitals like Portland do not allow spa-like setups for mothers requiring intensive observation. Lighting, equipment, even room layouts must follow strict medical guidelines. Then there's preeclampsia, one of the most serious complications a pregnant woman can face. If Meghan truly showed even early signs, protocol would demand magnesium treatments, constant monitoring, and strict bed rest, not a tower hospital stay and a quick drive home. In short, the story presented to the world didn't match medical reality. It matched something else entirely: narrative management. It was carefully shaped to appear effortless, graceful, and magical. The perfect royal moment. A scene that photographs beautifully and sells a fairy tale image. But reality doesn't bend for PR. Medical facts don't soften for public image. Every step of Meghan Markle's official birth story felt edited, trimmed, and polished to perfection, leaving one glaring question. If the birth story was staged this flawlessly, what else in her life might have been carefully rewritten?